Welcome, everyone. This is a Pokemon fanfic by Sucker, The Legacy of Red. Our hero Michael is a 17-year-old young man who lives in a lighthouse near Cerulean City with his mentor Bill. He has been developing the PC storage system with Bill for 7 years, but recent events involving a gigantic Pokemon have planted the seeds for a new adventure. Chapter 1: The Lighthouse. Bill was walking on what seemed to be a perfect circle on the summit of his lighthouse. It wasn't mainly the size of the Pokemon that bothered him. He knew that it had to be huge based on the sound waves it was emitting. What really struck him odd was that the gigantic Pokemon strongly resembled another Pokemon he knew very well. He leaped again to his books. Even though Bill was a genius programmer and a skilled engineer, he still preferred old books to computers. It was the smell, or simply the prehistoric atmosphere radiating from the ancient texts, that made him feel at home. In one of his books he looked up the picture and information of the Pokemon Dragonite. Bill was muttering his thoughts out loud. Height 2.21 meters. That can't be. But what about weight? No, only 210 kilograms. This can't be right. Desperate to find an answer, Bill tried everything. He shone ultraviolet light to his trusted Pokemon glossary in hopes of finding a hidden message. Nothing. Maybe there's something in the irregularities part of the book. Again, nothing. But of course, it must be cryptid using a complicated algorithm. After a few hours of scribbling weird formulas that seemed to make no sense, Bill resigned. He then went on to examine another book, but it wasn't before long he was muttering to himself while walking a perfect circle. A hard knock on the door interrupted him. "Come in," mumbled Bill. A boy going through his last teenage years walked in. He was dressed in red and black as always and wore his white cap even though they were inside. The Pokemon Umbreon stood silently right next to him. "What's up, Bill? Still thinking about that Pokemon?"
"I can't get it off my mind. It couldn't have been a Dragonite. It was way too huge. But it looked exactly like a Dragonite. I have never ever encountered anything like that. Where could it have come from? It responded to the signal I constructed, so it must be lonely. But where does it live? Are there any other Pokemon like it?"
"Yeah, that's a lot of questions. I wish I knew. Is there anything else I can do to help?" At this question Bill suddenly fell silent. He looked into his friend's eyes, then outside the lighthouse windows, then back at him again. The young man was starting to get nervous and opened his mouth to say something, but then he fell silent as well. Bill was going to ask him something big.
"Michael, would you like to go on an adventure?"
The thought Bill might ask him to go do field research had occurred to him, but apparently they weren't now talking about mere field research. They were talking about a full-length journey to discover the most fundamental secrets and mysteries of the world they live in. As a child, Michael dreamed of traveling the world with his Pokemon, but then his programming work with Bill and the cozy life at the lighthouse came into picture. Michael had responsibilities. He was in charge of improving and updating Bill's PC storage system, and to work with a genius like Bill, it was a really great opportunity. His mind filled with thoughts, Michael wanted to say something.
"But the PC storage system, it's not perfect yet." "Don't worry about it. I have for a while now been in contact with an interesting lady named Lynette who develops a very similar PC storage system to ours in a land far away from here. She has some brilliant ideas. I feel like I should start programming more again. I think that might give my brain something new to think about for a change."
But you'll be all alone. Who will keep you company?"
"Don't worry, Michael. Trainers will most likely keep visiting the lighthouse, and if I get really desperate, I can always accept that dinner invitation from the oldest of Misty's sisters."
At this, they both laughed. Misty's older sisters might all three together barely reach Bill's IQ, but it was a no-brainer they could never ever reach the level of his creativity. "But hey, Michael,
No need to decide things yet. Take a good night's sleep and we'll talk about your possible departure tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Michael thought, but there was nothing else to be said. He waved Bill good night and went to his room, washed his teeth, changed to pyjamas, and then changed back to normal clothes. He couldn't hold still! He was so excited about going, he just couldn't wait till tomorrow. He rushed back to the Lighthouse Summit to meet Bill, whom he caught playing on his GameCube.
What is it, Michael?
Asked Bill.
Can't you see I'm practicing the Ken combo?
I'm going on an adventure! There was laughter, jumping, screaming and hugging, all provided by Michael. Bill was calm, focused, and after a while Michael stated his request. I'd like to start my own journey with an empty Pokédex and a level 5 starter Pokémon just like my friend Gary Oak and the mysterious Red did.
I presume you also want to start your journey from Pallet Town.
No, I think I can manage our neighborhood's Rattatas even with a level 5 Pokémon.
Alright, Michael. Everything you need will be ready for you tomorrow. But in case you can't sleep, how about you show me your moves?
And so the night passed. After a while, Michael went to arrange his personal belongings while Bill started hammering his keyboard, probably creating another brilliant method to further communicate with the Gargantuan Pokémon. But the only one sad and depressed in the room was Michael's Umbreon. It had heard the conversation about a level 5 starter and it was simply feeling down. Without anyone noticing, the Moonlight Pokémon went outside. The lighthouse's light shone on water, revealing a few Zubats flying over a horde of tentacles. Watching these Pokémon supersonic each other wasn't as fun as it usually was. Umbreon sat still for an hour or two, and when the daylight finally broke, it decided to flee. Never having been captured by a Pokéball, Umbreon had been following Michael out of its free will. When Umbreon moved, he noticed Michael was sleeping next to him. How she hadn't seen Michael come there, she did not know. But the Umbreon was happy, and even though sunlight was getting brighter, the Moonlight Pokémon fell asleep next to him.